What's everybody? What's everybody? What's up, everybody? It's Riley Knox. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. It's a little chaotic over here today. um, I just, wanted to get on here today and talk to you because a lot of people have asked, and also, well, I've been asked quite a few times actually, and just thought maybe you might be curious about it. So why not let's just talk about it. For those of you who know who I am, great. But for if you don't know who I am, I'm the #1 Beyonce impersonator in the world. My name is Riley Knox. I'm also an actress. I'm also an artist. I'm a fashion designer and so many things. But for the past 24 years, I've been the #1 Beyonce impersonator in the entire world. And it has been an amazing, rewarding career that has taken me to many places, has got me awards and accolades. And I have met some incredible people, both in the industry and also fans that I've impacted and that love and support me. And I thank you all for that. And 3 years ago, I started, well, 3.5 years ago, I started in a company making couture clothing for a lot of people, mostly celebrities, but I make clothes for everybody. So if you're wondering, oh, I'd like to get something made by you, but do you only work with celebrities? I've been asked that question also. I work with everyone, and everything is custom made. Everything is one of a kind. So basically what I'm going to talk about today is how I juggle being a performer with being a designer. And it is a lot of work. But here's how I do it. So for starters, both of my careers, well, let me just, before I even get into that, let me just give you a little bit of backstory. So I told you I've been performing for 24 years. When I first started performing, it was just a dare that turned into a hobby that became a passion. And then that passion somehow turned into a paycheck. Thank God. I was a makeup artist. I was an interior designer, always in the arts. And I quit all of that once that passion turned into a paycheck. And the wonderful thing about it is it's given me a great life. And I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. It is a lot of work. Especially, it's also ambitious because I impersonate the biggest artist of our time. I impersonate the greatest entertainer, and so I have to work really hard. And while I'm not a naturally trained dancer, or not naturally trained, classically trained dancer, which all of my dancers tell me that I can't say that, but I say it because they all went to school for it and I did not. So that is a lot of work. I have to be mentally clear. I have to be physically fit. I have to be mentally fit. I have to remember a lot of things while I'm on that stage. I have to remember the words to the songs. I have to remember where I have to be on the stage. I have to remember what I'm supposed to do on the stage also, all while keeping my balance. It's a lot of moving parts. Now, 24 years later, it's kind of like, I want to say it's like muscle memory. I don't have to be so much in my head. Sorry, I can't talk today. I don't have to be so much in my head about it because it comes so natural to me. And that is wonderful, but it is still work. Someone actually said to me the other day, they're like, but your job feels like, your job is like, it's fun, so it's not work. That's not true. It is work. It is a lot of work. In fact, it is so much more work. It's a lot. It's sometimes more work than just people who obviously is to sit behind a desk because it's physical work. My brain has to align with my body physically to do what I'm supposed to do on stage. And I'm not just doing it my way. I have to do it in a way that impersonates Beyonce. And so it's very ambitious. So it is quite a job. And the interesting thing about the fact that I've been doing it for so long. So I've been performing for 24 years. I've been impersonating Beyonce for 21 years because she came out with her debut album in 2023. Dangerously in Love, and Crazy in Love was everywhere, and it was being played everywhere. You guys have probably heard me tell this story before if you've been on this channel. And so during the pandemic, 2020, I had just come off of a whirlwind year in 2019 where I, was in the Taylor Swift video, and then I opened the MTV Video Music Awards with Taylor Swift and won an MTV Video Music Award alongside her. Then that was in August of 2019, and then in 2020 I had a concert sold out. I had 2 concerts. It was great. And then I ended up making history as the first transgender woman ever to perform halftime in the NBA. One thing that is a part of my legacy now, and had I not been performing, obviously that would not be a part of my legacy, but it is now. And I'm really excited that I was able to do that, really happy. And the interesting thing is I was very unsure as to how I was going to pivot out of just performing, and was that just going to be what I was going to do what was I going to do when I chose to retire? Because let's just be honest, I'm going to get old, and my body's going to break down, and I won't be able to do it forever. And as magnificent and as supernatural as she may seem, Beyonce herself will also one day have to put the microphone down, take the leotard off, and retire. No signs of doing that just yet, but one day maybe. And so that was my thing. I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought I was going to go back into interior design, and it's still one of my loves, and I'm not saying that I won't. But I ended up becoming a fashion designer, which in a world that's already so saturated, that was a lot, but that's what I chose to do. And like a lot of the things that I do, it became a calling on its own. It became an ask from my best friend, Monique Samuels, and then it became a passion, and it was a paycheck always. And then I started doing all these clothes for all these celebrities and all this stuff. And so basically, I just want to give that little bit of a backstory, but really it's a lot to balance. And I am one woman. And I am someone, like people always say, like, your team did this and your team did that. It's just me. It's just me and my manager. Even when I'm creating these fabulous, amazing, intricate gowns that you see, it is just me. And when I am performing, I have my hands in everything. Not just my hands in it. It is solely me. I'm creating the costumes, obviously, because I am a designer. I am making any props that are to go on stage, because I build things and make things also. I'm the lighting designer. I'm not the one operating the lights, obviously, because I'm on the stage, but I design the whole light show. I film all the content. I edit all the content that goes on behind this LED screen behind me. All that. I do it all. And basically what has to happen, it depends on what I'm doing. So if I am preparing for a show, I will make sure that I have no looks that are supposed to go out, meaning no deadlines for clients. Basically, once the pandemic was over and I started to have to go back to perform, and I already had this booming design career, I had to basically put that on hold and say, like, I won't be available for the next 2-3 months. I will be solely working on this show. Well, I can't do that anymore. I have to do them together. And so I try to, if I am working on my show, I'm just working on my show that day. And then if I'm just working on the look that I'm creating or that I've designed, because I also am constructing it also, then I will just focus on that. Obviously, with the show, when I'm performing, I have to do both because I'm making costumes for myself and the dancers. And I will tell you this. My formula is I wake up early, naturally, and I try to stay focused. If I wake up early and I go to bed whenever I start to get tired, the earlier I wake up, the more I get out of the day, the more I'm able to do throughout the day, the more energy I have if I'm up early when it's time to do that. There are days, because as someone who is self-employed, I've had to learn to give myself days off. And I take those days off and I cherish those days off and I do whatever I want to do. Sometimes it's go to a museum with a friend, as you saw in my previous video, or it's absolutely nothing. I have to eat right constantly. I have learned through experience that when I stopped eating clean and stopped eating right just because I wanted to just have fun, it does not work for me. It doesn't work at all because something suffers and I have to stay as sharp as I can mentally. And so when I try to be in the moment for everything. When I'm working on the show, when I'm working with the engineer for the music, when I am in rehearsal, I try to be there in that moment. I'm not taking phone calls. I'm closed off from the rest of the world. I have to compartmentalize things that I'm doing because I will lose my mind. I will lose my mind. And I have learned that I can't not sleep. I cannot not eat. I cannot not work out. I have to make time for those things because they are a part of my careers also. So there's that. And the wonderful thing is I have my manager who manages both my performance career and my fashion design career also. And so she's very helpful in all the scheduling and all the phone calls and all the meetings that I don't have to be a part of. And I can just be the artist and I can just be the creative person that I am and focus just on the art. And sometimes I have to step into my other mindset of, the numbers and all that stuff too, but mostly it's just her that does that. And I'm very grateful to Shay for that. And when I'm on stage, obviously I have to be there in the moment. I don't have a choice. Obviously you're there to see the show. And I basically have to just turn it on and off. I go on the stage, it turns on. I come off the stage, I turn it off, and I'm back to being myself. And then the next day I'm sore as hell and it may be time to go directly. I made a day off and then I go directly into designing again. And so I just have to map out and make time and almost deal with it as if they are two different people, because they're two different things. One is so much more thinking than the other and so much more like timing and physics and like all that kind of stuff. The other one is a lot of math and a lot of creativity and thinking outside the box and keeping it current and keeping it whatever. And also things fitting like a puzzle and things coming together so that my clients don't end up on the worst dress list, Knock on wood, that has not happened yet. Shout out to T.S. Madison, by the way. At the time that I'm filming this is her birthday. And also, she got me on the Times best dressed list. So there's that. So happy birthday, Maddie, and I love you very much. But what I also want to say is, for me, time is everything. Money, I can always make more money. For me, the one thing I can never get back is time. And if you're somebody that wastes my time or that makes me late for things, you can't be a part of my life. And it is everything in both careers. I have to be mindful of timing. Sometimes I get very little time to create a garment that needs to be on a stage or needs to be on a set of a movie or a TV show. And that is so little time to get that together. And I have to manage my time wisely. I have to stay on task. I am my own boss, so there's no one to be accountable to and to keep me from, dozing off into la la land or getting distracted. And so it's a little bit harder sometimes because I do have a tendency to want to procrastinate and a tendency to have a short attention span and my mind wander creatively to something else. But I have to be focused and I have to discipline myself, right? And then being on stage, timing is everything because of what I'm doing on the stage as far as timing and choreography and all of that. Showing up on time for interviews that I have to do to promote the show or whatever I'm doing or acting, and know my lines and be prepared. It doesn't matter what you do in life. sometimes they don't care about how talented you are. They show up, they care that you're on time, you look good doing what you're there to do, and third, that you know what you're there to do. Know your lines, you know your choreography, you know the songs, you showed up on time, you look the part. All of those things get you by sometimes better and more ahead than just being the most talented person in the world. And for me, my work ethic never changes if I'm performing or if I am producing clothing and fashion and all of that. The work itself is different, but what never changes is the goal of always putting my best foot first and always making sure that I deliver. That's always. And it's so funny because you guys always say to me, you deliver, you always deliver, you don't miss. That is not true. I miss. You just never know. You never see it. There have been a lot of fails. There have been quite a few fails. And I grow from them and I learn from them. And I have to be a businesswoman and also be a talent and a creative person and a, the artist. But I've learned. And in 3.5 years, that has been the thing. The talent was already there. That was half the battle. But I had to make sure that I learned from those mistakes. But yes, there have been many. I'm not going to share them with you. Some of them I cannot share with you. There have been garments that I spent hours and hours and hours making and days making that never saw the light of day, that you guys never saw. Something just wasn't working with it and the client never wore it, or either I never wore it. But that's just life. It doesn't always come out perfect, but social media, you guys see the best part. So there's that. Just know that just because you don't see someone's failures doesn't mean that they don't fail. And, if you're looking to someone for either inspiration or if inspiration's one thing. If you are comparing yourself to someone else, there's only one you. Even if you're a twin, there's only one you. And you have to do your best. And sometimes you guys, I've had moments where I've fallen on stage. I've had injuries on stage or nosebleeds or all kinds of crazy shit, props going through my hand, broke my back. Like all kinds of stuff has happened, but you guys don't see that. You see a highlight of the great things that have happened. So what I'm basically trying to explain is just because you don't see those things, know that it took a lot for those people to get there. It took blood, sweat, and tears, sometimes real blood, And so, that's what I wanted to share with you guys, balancing this. I think, honestly, at the end of the day, I'm still learning. I learn a lot every day about myself and what I should do and what I need to do and how to navigate through this life. And that's what life is just about. It's not always about having the answers. It's about how hard you try. And I definitely am a testament of that. Okay. So hopefully, if you are looking for a look for a special occasion or you just want something fabulous, hit me up in the booking information on my Instagram. Or if you want to come to a show of mine, stay tuned. I may have an announcement soon. You never know, for another concert that's coming up in your city or here in Washington, D.C. I love you guys so much for watching. Thank you if you made it to the end of this video. I know it was a lot of talking, but I just wanted to share that with you guys today, and I will see you in the next video. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment, because I love your comments. They give me ideas for other videos. All right? Love you. Bye.